Hey guys, welcome back to Practically Creative with Melissa. Today I'm going to do some embroidery with my flourish. I'm going to embroider something on a t-shirt, and I'm going to walk you through how I put this all together. It will be pretty detailed, and I apologize if I go into too much detail, but I want to make sure that I show you how to do this properly. Alright, let's go over to the other camera and see what we can see. Embroidery machine. I've got my hoop here, and I'm going to take a piece of tearaway stabilizer. This is a paper stabilizer, and it is about the weight of a doubled paper towel, maybe. I'm not recommending you use paper towel. I'm just telling you how much it weighs. And I have already laid out my t-shirt and marked with chalk on my t-shirt where I want my embroidery design to show. And that's chalk. It will wash out no problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the t-shirt, and I want the embroidery to go just through the front of the t-shirt. So I'm going to lay my t-shirt out on my embroidery hoop. So that I only have one layer of the t-shirt on here. And what I did was I kind of rolled it up, and then I'm going to spread out the area that I want to sew on right here so that it stays exactly where I want. I don't want to pull it tight. I just want it to be gathered up in there. And I am trying to make sure that it's all straight, and my lines are straight, so I can use those as a guide. And I'm feeling the hoop here behind it so that everything stays where I want. T-shirt in the hoop here. I'm kind of making sure that the area where I want to stitch is centered in my hoop. And then I'm putting wash away stabilizer on here. And I have opened up the screw on my hoop right here as far as I can open it. And then I'm going to slide my top of my hoop down in here, and I'm going to slide it right over my wash away stabilizer so that it keeps it where it's supposed to be. And I want the wash away tight, just like the other stabilizer and the t-shirt, but I'm not trying to put stretch on the t-shirt itself. We're going to lock it down. There's a little screw here that I am tightening. And I'm going to pick an alphabet to use to put my channel name on here. And I want to put Practically Creative in here. And this is the font that I want to use. So I want P, and then I want to go over and get the smaller letters, R, you can use a stylus for this. That's what I want it to say. And then I'm going to put my frame in my machine. And I'm going to be very careful to make sure that I get all of my t-shirt up on top of my frame, just because I don't want anything to go wonky. And everything needs to slide underneath the needle. So I'm going to slide the fabric under the presser foot and the hoop, and that I am putting this in here. This is just how my hoop fastens in. You don't have to push hard, just gently, and then lock that down. And then you can pull your other fabric up out of the way. Now, one of the biggest problems that people often have is being able to keep the fabric out of the way when they're doing something like this. And I have pink thread in my machine, so I think that's going to work fine for what I want on my shirt. There's my mark. And then I want to go back over here and I'm going to hit edit end. And then we're going to look at where this is sitting. Okay, and what I did, I'm going to press this button right here. And when I press that button, I'm going to press this button here. When I press that button, it's going to show me where on the shirt it's going to embroider. The other thing I'm looking for while it does that is to make sure that none of my thread or none of my excess fabric is going to wind up underneath my frame. Once I'm satisfied with where it's going to be, I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click on embroidery. Now, this is telling me, let's get you a good close-up view here. This is telling me the stitch count, how long it will take. It's going to take 2 minutes to stitch out practically and then 1 minute to stitch out creative. And I can, if I want, do a thread change in between the two. I'm going to do both practically and creative in the same color and font, so that's fine. So I'm going to go over here to the stitch area, and I'm going to press the presser foot button, and that turns this green. That also allows me to start stitching my item. And I'm going to click Start Now, and it's going to stitch for me. I will speed this part up for you so you don't have to watch it in real time. Okay, now the machine's finished embroidering. Okay, now the machine's finished embroidering. We're going to click on the OK button, and we are done. So I'm going to go over here to the machine. I'm going to lift that lever that we pushed down earlier, and I'm going to gently pull the frame out. And remove the t-shirt from the machine. Let's look down here at what we got. So this is my shirt. And it has what I wanted embroidered on it. I'm going to undo the screw on the hoop. You don't have to undo it super far to get it out of there. And then I'm going to take the shirt out of the hoop and take the hoop off. I don't need it right now, so I'm just going to set it aside. Now, the water-soluble stabilizer, I'm going to take it to the sink and just do a little bit of cold water on that. I've got my logo right where I want it. this tearaway stabilizer, I used a huge piece for what I was doing, and I'm just going to gently pull it loose here. I don't want to rip my stitches out after I went to all that trouble to get it done. And then you can go down in between these letters and pick in more detail if you want to. And I'm trying to just gently take this out so that I don't tear out my stitches. Now, if you're the sensitive skin type, like I am, like babies are, toddlers and stuff, you can cut all these out and everything. But I have some stabilizer that I can cut a little tiny piece of. It's called Soft and Silky, and I'll cut my little threads and iron a little piece of that on the back of there so that doesn't rub against my skin. Okay, so here's my finished shirt on me. It says Practically Creative. It's exactly where I wanted it on the shirt. I wanted it up here, not down in this area. And I didn't want to put Practically Creative all the way across my chest. That would be way too big of letters. But I think that right here, maybe even a little higher next time, is great. And I can do another shirt with the same pieces of stabilizer that I used. I now have a branded shirt, and it cost me almost nothing. I think the t-shirt was $5 or $6 at Walmart, and some stabilizers and some thread. Of course the machine costs some money, but I get a lot of use out of that flourish, and this is just one example of ways you can save yourself money. If I wanted to, I could put my name above here. I could even go back in right now, realign the shirt, and put my name on here also, but I'm not going to do that. I don't feel the need to have my name emblazoned across my shoulder, but I think that the shirt came out great. Thank you for watching. You have a great day.